What's up, everyone? Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Les Alex here for Impact Gaming Center. We are live. Thank you all so much for joining us. We've got Bryan on Eldrazi against Jake on Grixis Wizards. We've got 4 rounds of modern action for you. Thank you all so much for joining us. Here we are again live from Impact Gaming Center in the fabulous Fairview Heights, Illinois. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell icon, and set it to all so you don't miss out on content like this. And hit up impactgamingcenter.gg for all your Magic the Gathering, TCG, and other tabletop gaming needs, as we already have a Psychic Frog on Jake's battlefield. He is off to the races. Bryan has a piece of Tron and a Urza Saga on his battlefield. And here is a second frog. So Jake getting super froggy with it here in the early goings of the game. Alrighty, as we settle in here, thank you all again so much for joining us, especially if you're watching live on twitch.tv/Impact Gaming Center, where we do stream every single Friday night at 7 p.m. Central. Jake, always the gentleman, said, "Are you going to search with Saga Dog?" Suppose he could fail to find. Gonna get another map. And the Tower of Power. Gonna fetch for Jake, down to 19. Down to 17. It's like a fetch shock. Maybe considering a different land. Gonna get a Steam Vents. And a Consider. Draws his card, and taps. Draws his card for turn. Down to 15 off the shock. Flame of Ignore the Construct token. And bash. Gonna discard 1 frog to make another frog a little bit more powerful. Down to 16 goes Bryan. Gonna pop an Eldrazi, or I'm sorry, Expedition mat. Go get another piece of the Tron lands. Gonna be a power plant rather. There is the power plant. And just a pass back here for Bryan, and I think Jake's in the driver's seat here. Island for Jake, and we're going to battle. Jake trying to decide whether he wants to discard some cards here. Down to 11. Pop another map. Probably getting a tower, I would imagine. Maybe not, though. We'll see. Oh my gosh, he's mismatching all of his Tron lands. Oh my gosh. Just a pass back from Bryan again. I believe that was a lightning bolt. Get on in there. Bryan has shenanigans, though. What do we have, Bryan? What shenanigans are we getting up to? You tap the mana. Put the card on the table. Kozilek's command, make 2 Eldrazi spawns. Counter spell from Jake. 3 mana here. Another Kozilek's command. Does Jake have another counter spell? And he's going to take down the big frog. Jake says before blocks. We're going to jump my frog. Give him wings. Oh, he's discarding some cards. This is all still before blocks. Discard 3 cards. 5 in the air. He's still trying to deal 5. Does he have a lightning bolt? Snap, bolt. That's going to do it for game 1, unless Bryan's got something. No, he's going to scoop him up. That will do it. Jake's going to take down game number 1 here with Grixis Wizards over Bryan on Eldrazi Tron. So there we have it. Hey, hello everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us today. I'm Les Alex. We are live here at Impact Gaming Center. It isn't an RCQ today. Sorry about that, but yeah, no, this is just FNM. And yeah, we have quite a few in the building tonight. 15 for our modern portion, but there's got to be like 45 plus players here for Commander. It's absolutely crazy out there. Let me see. I have this I can show you. Look at that. There's Jake, but there are a ton of people behind him, and that's like a quarter of the game. I guess maybe half of the gaming space. But yeah, if you are in the area or in the Midwest at all, we have 22,000 square feet here at Impact Gaming Center. So we'd love to meet you. We'd love to game with you. Come on out, 49 Ludwig Drive in the fantastic, the fabulous, the sensational Fairview Heights, Illinois. And yeah, if you're looking for cards online and you want to support a local shop, check out impactgamingcenter.gg. Mean the world to us to provide you with some luxury cardboard rectangles. We also have tabletop games, things like D&D, Warhammer, stuff like that. But yeah, thank you all so much for joining us tonight as these players are sideboarding. I don't have deck lists. This is our number one comment on all of our YouTube videos is deck lists. We do not have yet deck lists. We don't require our FNM players to have deck lists. In a perfect world, that would be amazing, but it's just, we don't want to, put too much on the players that play on camera here at Impact. But yeah, let's get things back down to the battlefield. But yeah, thanks everybody for joining us. It is September too, just saying, if you are watching on Twitch, get half price subs this week. And we ain't talking about from a sub shop. No free shout outs, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, these players getting ready for game number 2. And let's listen on in to these players here.
That makes so many fun abilities on it. They do. Oh, yeah. Try to do like a 4 into a 4 into a queen into a half, and then try to do like that. I guess 21 times maybe like correct somehow. 7. Yeah, like way over. 21 times should move. I think it's like I don't know. I'm no mathematician. It's okay. Delicious. I'll be the player. Sounds good. I'm gonna know better than that. You're not supposed to. Yeah, you reward yourself. You should never keep a bad hand. And then you reward yourself by looking into like, damn it. It's a one land survey of hands into the same color shot land, so definitely would not have liked it.
All right, we are off to the races here with races game 1, or excuse me, game 2. What am I talking about? All right, we are off to the races here with we've got Tamio on the side for Jake. What does he have for a turn 2? Just land go. Trying to be able to hear the players without impeding my commentary. Ugin's Labyrinth, all is dust. You have it in your hand, just do it. 3, 4 mana. Karn. Do we have a counterspell, Jake? I assume he would have fired it off by now. So Bryan gonna minus Karn here. Gonna search in his deck, his sideboard. What you got, Bryan? The One Ring. So that'll be next turn's play for sure. Down to 15 goes Jake. Shock, fetch, shock. Orcish Bowmasters poke the Karn. There is Jake's legendary Ampharos Orcish Bowmasters token. Karn's gonna bite the dust. 1 activation off of the powerful Planeswalker. And Jake gonna miss a land drop here. That's not good. He does have a Consign to Memory in hand, so I believe he can counter. Well, I know he can counter the One Ring. All right, there we go. Yep, there's a Consign to Memory. One Ring goes to the bin. Lightning Bolt U down to 17 goes Bryan. And gonna battle and make a clue. Opt. There's land. Spire Bluff, pass turn. Back to Bryan. A swamp? A forest. I think it's forest. Looks like a forest. We're gonna say it's a forest. Smasher. Smash, smash. Get in there. Down to 10. Jake was actually at 15, I believe, yeah. Thundering Falls, gonna surveil, gonna take a look at the top card of his deck. Can't quite make it out, unfortunately. Well, it's an opt. Gonna smash and make a clue. Down to 13 goes Bryan. Psychic Frog pass. So Jake is in the game to race here. Bryan gonna surveil the battlefield, see what, assess his options here. I can't quite make out what's really in his hand either, unfortunately. Is this another smasher? Oh. Guzzler's command. Take down the frog. And Brian's going to scry 3, I believe, here off of the command. I think Jake has a Harbinger, 2 frogs and a Harbinger in hand, maybe? Definitely 2 more frogs. I can't make out the last card in Jake's hand. There was a talisman, I believe, drawn by Bryan. Down to 5, your turn. Scalding Tarn. That's a rough one to get here this late in the game when you're at 5 life. I need to risk it for the biscuit. Down to 4. Doesn't matter. I guess whenever you're at 5 and your opponent has a 5/5 on play. The difference between 5 and 4 is pretty much non-existent. Gonna bash. He's got 2 frogs, so he can double frog here. Ooh, a Murktide. I didn't see that, so this Murktide's gonna be a big boy. So this could sway the game for sure, depending on how big this boy is. 6/6. Is that what I heard? 6/6. Yeah, 6/6 Murktide. Frog Murktide. Pretty good turn there for Jake. Let's see what Brian's retort is here. Talisman. Yep, it is a thing. Uggin's Binding gonna bounce. The Murktide. We're gonna bash. How does Jake want to block here? Gonna double block, it looks like. Maybe not. Brian just said you could discard Murktide to make your frog bigger. That is a legal play. Murktide and a frog and discard a frog before damage, double blocking. Uggin's Lab for the land for turn for Brian. Back to Jake. Could he have another Murktide here? Well, he obviously could. Brian is at 11. Gotta update that live total. Sorry, folks. It's a lot to keep up with. Don't know what that card Jake drew. We know about the Murktide. Can't quite make out the other card. Jake is in the proverbial tank here. And here comes Murktide, it would appear. Yep. 1 counter. So that is a 4/4 Murktide. Combat. Bowmaster going to get in there. Get into the red zone. Down to 10 goes Bryan. I don't know what's in Bryan's deck, obviously, if he has another Ugin's Binding or not. Double block. And everybody trades. And what is Bryan's follow-up here? I believe that's Sowing Myco spawn. Certainly looks like it. Here it is on screen for you folks. Not kicked, I don't believe. Although maybe it's not, because he didn't search his deck. Huh. I have to zoom in. Oh, Thief of Existence. Another Bowmasters. Right in time for Jake. Gonna deal a point to Bryan. Yeah, thanks, River. Appreciate you. Kozilek's Command. Tag of Bowmasters. Snapcaster Mage, a.k.a. Ambush Viper, as Jake says. Bryan making spawns here. Bryan doing some big things here this turn. Another Kozilek's Command. Holy smokes. Saving his thieves here. All right. And Jake's going to scoop him up here. We're going to game number 3. All righty. There you have it, folks. Game 2 goes to Bryan. Reset these life totals. Thank you all again so much for hanging out with us tonight. If you're watching live, you're watching after the fact on YouTube, though. Again, like, comment, subscribe, do all the things. Share the video. Tell folks we exist. That would be amazing. But let's cut it back down there. Let me update these life totals, and we will get ready for game number 3.
Sam, you were right. It does work. It is very tight. It only fits 100 but it's
Yep. I like them. I feel like they split more than the regular ones.
I'm
But they
shuffling
shuffle
this
so
thing
much.
like.
They look pretty.
It's katanas. You get kind of like the best of both worlds. When you sleeve them,
Yeah.
the front right away, you
That is
shuffle
because
nice
whenever
and
it
fast.
attacks,
My only katana complaint is they don't they don't double sleeve Dragon Shield very well. And I am a stern.
Alrighty, here we go. The epic conclusion to our first round. We've got, hopefully both players have some sweet hands. That would be amazing. Looks like both players are keeping Jake in a lead with a fetch land. And pass back to Bryan. Bryan, what you got? Mind map, go. Pretty good start there for Bryan. Pass back to Jake. I wonder if Jake has break the ice. That'd be pretty hot tech. Oh, it's a Dark Slit Shores. He's going to opt in turn and keep that. It's a good sign for Jake. And draws a card for turn. Shocks in Esteem Vince and plays Alpine Moon. That's pretty darn good. We've got a reader, so that means we will also search this up.
So it's like land, Urza, land.
Because I didn't have anything else in.
And here it is, right there for you on screen.
Oh yeah, right. You're playing that deck. It's kind of like these.
Nice tech here by Jake. Not always seeing Alpine Moon these days, but pretty brutal. And Eldrazi Temple, just a pass back though. Jake didn't have any follow-up, no way to pressure, so we'll see if this hand here for Jake will come together. I see Bryan has a Disruptor Flute.
I have like maybe 2 mana blocks in here, by the way, so keep that in mind. Any mid-artifact management? Like, I think I have like Warren, I don't even have Silver in here. I have Warren Power Stone and like Arcane Signet. Because I was gonna buy a Silver last time and they didn't have it. Or rather, I didn't have the money. Yeah, all of the cards that were being that way. There's one card in there that I added, and I took out a land for it. And it's the only four.
Pop that one too.
I'm gonna pop both maps.
You could do something mean to me like, what is that? Not basic? Yeah, that's the one. That would be really disappointing.
Alright, so I have my my deck in here, so it's going.
You want to get a little fetch action here at the end of Bryan's turn. That'd be a shadowy, or Undercity Sewers, rather.
Honestly, I'm gonna just see what happens.
Which means Jake gets to surveil at the end of his turn, end of Bryan's turn. Gonna put that Scalding Tarn Bowmaster you down to 19.
Because he generates creatures on the end of your turn.
Another Steam Vents. And get in there for 2. So looks like Jake is starting to really turn the corner here, but let's see how good Bryan's turn is. He's got quite a bit of mana here. Potentially 7 mana total.
Brian, we're going to talk about your deck in terms if you want to keep it there as well.
But does Jake have any counter magic in hand? That'll be the question here. Looks like 5 mana here, potentially. Sowing Mycospawn kicked. This time it is actually Sowing Mycospawn. Looks like Jake is going to consign to memory. Counter it and counter the trigger. Pretty good. Pretty good. It is devoid. It does have green pips, but it is devoid, so it is colorless while it is on the stack. Okie doke. Jake was trying to decide whether he wanted to counter the blow up a land ability as well. Another Bowmaster. So now we got ourselves a decent clock here for draw for turn, bash for 4. Down to 11. Pass turn. Bryan's still got a huge grip and a lot of mana, so Jake working with only 3 lands in play thanks to the Sowing Mycospawn last turn. Yeah, there's 2 triggers on Sowing. Yep. Ooh, here's a Smasher. This is going to be pretty good if he elects to cast it. Of course, Jake might have something, counterspell. Smash. And turn it sideways, so it looks like it did resolve. What's Jake got here? Terminate! Blast from the past. Gonna discard a Tamiyo for targeting it. That feels pretty bad, but gotta do what you gotta do, Jake. And Bryan's just gonna pass back, says your turn. Obviously, Jake has a clock here. Down to 7. Go ahead. And did Jake draw a Force of Negation? I think he did. I think that is the blue card that is in his hand. Thought Not Seer. Unfortunately, Force of Negation cannot counter that. Flash in a Bowmaster's, ping you, grow the Orc army. Force of Negation. Gets exiled. But now Bryan has a pretty big blocker. Combat, swing with everybody. Block the 3-3, take the 3, down to 3. Bryan put the thought. Yeah, that's only a 3-3, Bryan. You get to keep your thought, not seer. Does Jake have a card in hand? I thought he did. Maybe not.
I had nothing to play these cards in this opening hand.
So he might have spawned kicked. Oh, okay, so he doesn't. Gets a seam vents, and now he gets to search up a land. So, notably now, Bryan's not going to die if he attacks. So now Bryan has some counter pressure. This is going to be a barn burner here at the end, folks. Yeah, he countered. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, River. He countered the spell and the search trigger. This is a saga. Urza saga, to be exact. Bryan said, you took all your bolts out, right? Lightning bolt off the top would be good enough here for Jake. Hey, what's up, Chip Hund? How's it going? How are you tonight? Polluted Delta. And gonna keep the Bowmasters back, pass back. I mean, you have to, right? You have to. Doing good? That's good. It's good to be good. It is good to be good. All right, Thought Knight going to get in there. Jake just going to take 4 down to 11. Complexion of this game is starting to change a little bit. Ooh, a Devour of Destinies. Going to tag one of the Bowmasters. Yeah, it's... So Jake going to fetch here. I mean, obviously, Lightning Bolt off the top rope wins the game. Here to peep the games. Too tired to be here in person. That's respectable. That's respectable. Yesterday, I was very tired. My cats got into a fight last night, and I was up from 5:30 on. So, not fun night for me a couple nights ago, but last night I got a pretty good night's sleep, so no complaints. Jake gonna draw his card, pass the turn. Going to make a construct token at the end of the turn for Bryan. That's the zombie token. It's actually a construct token, so keep that in mind. It is currently a 2/2, I believe. We're making another construct. Yeah, it was not good. One of our 19-year-old cat had to go to the hospital. He's okay, though. He's just got some inflammation in his hip, but still not good. And my little cat has to be isolated from the other two now for about 3 days. So that I'm super not happy about. But 18, yeah, he's like 18 or 19 years old. He's real old, but he's in great shape. Last time we took him to the vet, he was like, they said he's in perfect condition. Yeah, right? He's like literally like 100 years old in cat years. I think he's like, he'll be 19 or he just turned 19. You guys want to hear about my cats? Never mind this Magic the Gathering stuff. You didn't come here for that, right? You want to learn about my interpersonal relationships of my cats. Let me know in the comments section, do you like cats? And let me know how many cats you own. As we have an attack here from Bryan. Looking pretty good here for Bryan right now. Lightning bolt off the top. One time for the one time. Don't look like it. And there's the handshake. Jake gonna fall to Bryan here. Eldrazi gonna beat Grixis Wizards. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. We do appreciate you. And of course, until next week, or next round, not next week. We've got 3 more rounds if you're watching live. If you're watching after the fact, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell icon, turn it to all, and hit up impactgamingcenter.gg for all of your Magic the Gathering, TCG, and other tabletop gaming needs. I've been Les Alex. Thank you all so, so much. We do appreciate you. And until the next one or the next round, catch you all on Flippy Flop. Adios, everybody.